Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cody.
And this is Keeping Score Board Game Reviews. And today we're going to be reviewing Mayan Curse from Crazy Like a Box.
This is a 2 to 6 player puzzle adventure game. They did it on Kickstarter when it originally released. You can buy it from their website right now. It's probably for ages, I'd say, Oliver handled it well, so 10 and up. I don't know what the box says, but we played with an 11-year-old and he loved it.
Box says 8 and up.
Oh, yeah. 8 and up, that would be a good age, too. My 11-year-old absolutely adored it. He had a blast. My mom even liked it, which is unusual because she doesn't play a lot of tabletop games. So first and foremost, it's going to come with wooden pieces that are the points that you're trying to gather as you play. You get a choice between these little acrylic standees, which I kind of like, or these nice chunky meeples, which are also pretty cool. So whatever you prefer, they're both in the box.
So the whole point of this game is that you're trying to get from inside the temple, clear up to the top of the temple, gathering points and getting back out before these boulders roll and close the temple doors, and then you're sealed in forever and you get no points. The biggest challenge to this is that it's not a static board. The board moves. These slide back and forth. The top board up there in the temple moves.
If you slide it on the bottom circle, they all move. If you do it on the next layer, as you can see, each layer you go up, fewer circles move. But getting in and out of the temple is a real bear.
Yeah, that's the true frustration there, is when you're on the top level and you want to go down several levels, but you really have to rotate the one you're on, not the one you're below.
And the fun part is when you get 3 or 4 people in the temple, well, that's just a cluster because everybody's moving different rings, and sometimes they're moving you, and you can start off here with a clear path down, and by the time your next turn comes, you're over here and there's nowhere to go. It's great. And as you can see here, it's pattern recognition. So what it's going on is every turn, the players are all going to draw 3 tiles out of a bag. They're going to hope the black cat that you just saw doesn't take out the entire temple while we play. So first player is going to draw, then everybody around the table is going to draw, and then you all have to make your moves with the tile you're given. So for instance, right now, these won't move until these tokens come off. Let's say I'm first player. I've drawn the red mask, the darker blue bag, and the yellow mask. So before you're allowed to do anything, you have to plan your entire move. So you can't sit here and fiddle with one thing or the other to try to move it around. You have to look at it and be like, okay, so if I want to start off, I can start with the red mask, and then that's the proper bag. That's nice. So that's 2 moves. And then that's not right. So to get up here, I have to move this. Let's say I started here. So in order to get the proper thing up here, which is the yellow mask, I'd have to move it 1, 2. You're allowed up to 3 slides a turn, and you can never slide it more than the following 3 on the side of the board. So that's as far as you can slide. Now the kicker is, if you can line up the pattern, say like that, and then with orange, orange, let's say you got pretty lucky, and that's what's there, and you drew an orange and a yellow. Well, your yellow gets you all the way to here, your orange gets you all the way to there, and you haven't had to move anything yet, and the only thing you've got left is, let's say, the blue bag, right? Well, there's a blue bag, but you can get 1 more spot by moving that, your third one, and that's as far as you can get. That's pretty good for a turn. Now, the problem with that turn is you didn't capture any of the little wooden tokens. The way you win is by capturing as many of these little, what they call stela or Mayan statues, on your way as you can. These you can grab for free as you go by. These, each one of these gray and brown ones you take is going to remove one of those from the blocks. And then there's a green camera up here, which I forgot to put in there, but it's a little wooden green camera. They're each worth 15 points, and there's as many green cameras as there are players on the board. And what it is you'll get up here, you get your 15-point camera plus whatever statues you've collected, and then you got to get out, like she said, before these move. So, say in the game, oh, I picked that up, and then, oh, that got picked up. Well, it's the end of the round, right? These two still won't move. They've got tokens on them. This one wants to end up on the light blue bag, which is over there. So it's going to...
And it does that because the light blue bag is what's
on top.
visible on the top. So it always moves to the next row down.
So it's going to go 1, 2, destroy that, 3, 4, 5. It's going to get where it wanted to get and destroy 2 of the possible point things at once. And now next turn, it's going to want to end up over here on the red mask. Now, this could get moved around, or this could get shuffled around. And it just makes it really hard to be completely aware at all times of where you're going to end up because, well, the entire game is shifting. If you get blocked by one of these boulders on the path, as long as your piece has that top symbol, you can just climb over the boulder. You cannot stop on a boulder, and a boulder cannot actually crush you.
That we know of.
That we could figure out.
It wasn't in the instruction manuals, and we had it where the boulder did roll onto where somebody was, but we couldn't figure out anywhere where it said what happens if the boulder lands on you. Because, I've seen Indiana Jones. In theory, you should be crushed, and you shouldn't win. But we don't know 100%.
It didn't seem that there were any intended permanent consequences for the boulder landing on you. And these are primarily reviews with a little bit of a preview on how they play. So we don't promise that we have every rule absolutely correct in this because this isn't a full playthrough. The other thing that you have is there's a card with 4 powers on it. Every player has one.
It's a backpack.
It's your backpack. You can use one of the 4 possible powers once during the game. If you don't use any of your powers, you get 2 bonus points at the end. We all ended up using a power. She ended up winning by a fair margin.
But it was pure luck. And the problem with plotting out your moves is that if you're trying to plot out your moves and you go like 1 here and then maybe 1 over here, it's really kind of easy to lose track of where you have moved if it's not going to work out. So I may have won accidentally. Which
is why I made a point of mentioning that the rules do state you have to plot your entire turn before you move a slide tile.
Yeah, and that's harder
It's really harder to do that.
Especially if you have a younger player with you because they have a harder time figuring out where they're going to go.
Or if your mother's playing because she also used help to figure out where she was going. Which was fine. We didn't mind. We were just playing. We were having fun when we played this every time we played it, so it wasn't a big deal. This will come out probably at every family get-together, though, because it's a lot of fun and it plays fairly quickly. I like the components. These are acrylic. All of these are nice, chunky wooden bits. These are a nice wooden block with screen printing faces or stickers. I can't tell which, but they come that way and they're nice. So I'm not going to complain one bit. The board is great. I mean, everything works as advertised. It's nice. It's got the 3D moving element to it. It's very dynamic. It's certainly a good-looking game.
Yeah, I mean, the downfall to this game, as you can see, it's a very big game. So
it takes a good table.
So, by the time that I got my person down to the temple, I had to physically get up, walk out around the table, so that way I could figure out, okay, where am I coming back? Because I couldn't necessarily see where I wanted to move. So it is a very long game.
Not time-wise, but definitely in table presence. Physically, it's a long board for sure.
Yeah, and I got a little frustrated with the top temple because the turning of the things, it's going to take your mind a little bit to wrap out around how to get back out of that temple.
But it's a real fun puzzle at that same time.
And some of the players decided to not go to the temple. Instead, they were just going to make a run for it.
And my son got second place strictly because he picked up a few pieces of wooden statues, the stela, and then he took off.
Yeah.
And then I had by far the most points, but I also never made it out of the temple. I got trapped, as did my mom.
Yeah, the blocks make it rough because once they start moving,
they've
only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7-ish rows before they make it and shut the door on you.
Now, they usually do have a staggered release because of these tokens, but there was one turn where I picked up like 4 of these gray statues in a row, and 2 of the boulders started moving immediately at the end of that round. Now, it doesn't move after every player. They do move at the end of each round, but still they move quicker than you think.
Yep. So maybe if you're going to play and if you truly want to win, as a group, maybe agree to not pick anything up out here until you're all the way up to the temple and headed back.
Nah, that's the reason this is enjoyable to me is it reminds me a lot of the mechanic in Clank, where you have to go down in the dungeon and pick up a piece of treasure and scoot out. There's a lot of people that, with the original Clank especially, would go in, get the cheapest piece of treasure, and leave because that board didn't leave enough time for other players to get out if you do that. It's a legitimate strategy that everybody hates in Clank, or at least almost everybody hates it. And you can kind of manipulate this one the same time. It's not nearly as tight, but still you can do like my son did, where he grabbed some stuff and ran, and had she been a little bit slower, he'd have won. And he ended the game, 4 turns before we did, something like that. So it's a legitimate strategy. You could run in here, grab as many little wooden tokens as you want and can, and then run right back out and hope everybody else is slower as they're trying to get all the way up here. But that's the fun of it. It definitely caters to both play styles, and it's pretty well balanced for that. So what did you think of it overall, dear?
So overall, I'd probably give it a 7.5. And I like the idea of it. My couple of criticisms is the length of the board, trying to be able to see what's going on down there when you're sitting down at this end. I mean, maybe if everyone was sitting on the sides, it wouldn't be so bad, but the way that we had it set up, we couldn't. And then I get frustrated with the rotating of the pyramid, because the second you get up there and you start to formulate how you're going to escape, somebody else turns the pyramid up there, and then you're
ruins your plans.
Yeah. It's a $59 game.
And it's really deluxe for $59. I think it's got a lot of table presence for $60. I've paid $60 for games that may be more complicated games, but definitely don't look as fun as this on the table. And, looks aren't everything, though. Yeah. Like she said, it is long. It is... I would probably give it an 8, simply because it makes me feel like a little kid playing, Curse of the Mayan Temple, not Curse of the Mayan Temple, but whatever that Nickelodeon game show was with the talking temple. It made me feel like I was watching that as a kid playing this, and I really like that. And it's a big toy. I mean, it's got a bunch of moving pieces. You're spinning dials. You're laughing at each other because, well, you could see they had a plan, but you moved these and now they don't. And you could just look their face and just watch their turn go, oh no. And that made me laugh a lot. So I enjoy that a lot about this.
And we were sent this game for review purposes.
Absolutely.
So we greatly appreciate it from Crazy Like a Box.
Yep, we hope to work with them again. They sent us this and we had a blast with it.
So overall, it's a great game. It's very entertaining, and you can play with up to 6 people, which is
nice, because my aunt and uncle, we played a couple games with them the night before we got around with this with the family, and they always were complaining that you could only play 5 people at a game, and they had bigger groups, and they wanted some more 6-player games. This is perfect for that. So it definitely fits a wide player base. We played primarily with 4 players the times that we played it, and it seems really well balanced for that, but it also would work really well at 2 or 6. The only thing that's going to really change is the length of the game, I think.
And it says you can play it solo.
It's got solo rules. I haven't played it solo yet, and I might do a follow-up if it drastically changes the game. But I could see it being enjoyable solo as well.
So that's our review of Mayan Curse from Crazy Like a Box. So hope you guys enjoyed it.
And as always, please like, subscribe, and share so that we can get more followers and do more games for you people. And come check us out on Board Game Revolution, where we talk board games with all the people in the group. And Red Raccoon Games over in Bloomington. They ship nationwide, and they will get you anything tabletop you need.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you.